Okey dokey.
So, I'll bring this board, Town of Vinalhaven Board of Selectmen's meeting to order for Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. Roll call is Tom Anthony, Ladd Olson, Don Young, Leslie Dyer, myself, Elizabeth Bunker, and Marjorie Stratton. Number 2, approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? As amended.
Yes.
Number 3, minutes, approve the minutes from the January 7th and the January 15th meetings.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Approve and sign treasurer's warrants number 30.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Number 5, communications, Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry, Fall Ground Survey.
I didn't know if you had any questions about this survey that was taken last summer. I wanted to give you a copy of it so you could.
Well, other than it's never been used for agriculture, that probably should be a correction, but. Well, I mean, if it gets into the public record, it could. It's one of those things, that they probably should be corrected on the fact that it's never been used for agriculture, to anybody's knowledge.
Where does it have agriculture, please?
What do you mean, they grew blueberries there?
What's she looking for?
Does it specifically say it's for agriculture?
No, it just said, which may be decades old
Oh,
from
the
historic
ditch,
farming
the
practices.
ditch line.
I don't think that's, I mean, that's just an assumption on this woman's part.
Yeah, I didn't want to do any rebuttal on that because I don't know if you recall back in 2006, we were,
I was living on the mainland then, so I don't recall much.
we were fined. Someone complained that we put that ditch in to dry it out a little bit. And someone complained and we got fined for disturbing a wetland. And we had to do a little bit of mitigation. So I guess my preference would be to remain silent, just not to, I don't know, but it's up to you if you want me to get a hold of them and say, oh no, we dug that ditch a few years ago.
No, I think we're best to leave sleeping
we
dogs
should.
lie, whatever. That would be my recommendation. So, is that all right with you folks?
Fine with me.
5B, Maine Lobstermen's Association.
This was a letter asking, we give them a donation every year, $1,000, but this is asking if we wanted to become members. There's no fee for that, but it's some new program. We wanted to let you know that this year MLA is launching a new opportunity for communities to become an annual municipal member. This not only would publicly show their support for the work that the MLA does to protect our lobstering families and communities, but also demonstrate their commitment to preserving the industry and what makes their community special. I mean,
I, for one, don't think we should.
I think we should.
I think we should. I think we should too. I mean, there's no cost associated with it, so.
No,
But it's,
No, I think we should show that we support with other island and coastal communities, that we support the MLA and the lobstering business. Why would you not want to do that?
well, because you have more than one union out there, which one are you gonna support, both of them, or?
That's not the union's Maine Lobstermen's Association.
No, but if you support them, both the other union
We're already
is there.
supporting them by giving them $1,000.
I think the $1,000 is fine, I have no problem with it, I just don't think that
The union
becoming
has,
a member of it is the right move for the community.
well, the union has 63 members, it's pretty much a non-existent thing. I think we should.
I agree.
I think we should.
They're the biggest voice for the lobstermen, we're one of the biggest ports. whenever they ask us to support them in anything, we always
We
do. If they ever do anything that we don't like,
We have voice.
we can always pull, we can say we don't want to be a member anymore.
Considering my great-grandfather was one of the founding members, I think we should be.
Founded in 1954. Do you want to make a motion just so we have a vote?
I'll make a motion that we accept their invitation to become members, a member of the Maine Lobstermen Association. Was there some specific thing that they called it beside just
Just a member.
I think it
Okay.
says municipal
Member.
membership.
municipal member?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Second.
All in favor? Those opposed?
Got it.
Alrighty. Number 6, speakers from the floor.
The Jeff Tolman people are here. It's on the agenda for later on, but I didn't know if you
Okay.
wanted to bring it
If
up.
they want to do it now, unless you want to
It's up to
stay.
you. I was gonna ask if you wanted me to save my piece now or wait. till
It's up
we
to
get
you, Alan.
Okay, well, as you read from the letter we submitted, basically the only change is that we are requesting to use a porta potty as well as the town bathroom this year, just because last year we found that the one bathroom was pretty overextended. We had a couple issues with it being clogged at one point, and the line was just very long all afternoon and evening, and so we discussed that it might be a good idea to have another option for,
Good idea.
does he really?
Excuse me, what are you saying?
Billy Mills has one as well, I said she might have the option.
Okay. No, that's a good idea, Alan.
Okay. And one other thing I was just gonna add is we're hiring out a sound person this year, and he'll just have a box truck that will probably just be placed in the parking lot in some location, so that will just be an addition that we haven't had in the past. Other than that, setup will be very similar and all of that.
Okay.
Did we move this up the agenda, or?
Well, speakers from the floor
Right.
instead of,
Yeah.
new business, so, I don't know that anybody has any other big plans for August 16th.
Did you have a rain date plan?
We don't, but
Yeah, I saw that one in the letter that, no, last year you talked about having a rain date.
yeah, and I didn't think to put it in this year, but I think we would request it be the 17th probably as a rain date,
The next day.
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah, whatever you think.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Are you gonna do a motion?
so do I need a motion for that?
I think we should just document
Okay,
it.
so I'll make a motion that, the Jeff Tolman Music Rampage can have their, music night on August 16th from 4 to 10 p.m. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it that you do that.
And if
Anybody
there's
has,
any questions that come up, just don't
oh,
hesitate to.
you'll know if anybody has a question.
Thank you.
Thanks. Number 7, committee and departmental reports and appointments. A, downtown project review and approve water district building plans. Gabe?
Hi, yeah, we talked about this last time, and so what you have essentially is what I'm not sure if we shared something last time or I'm sorry, I can't remember now. But basically this design has been approved by the water district, and it's essentially the bid package coming together, all of the technical designs, specifications, everything coming together. The next step would be for you all to approve it. It will go to the funder, and they will make any recommended changes to design specification, anything that's included in that packet. So if you want to approve it sort of contingent upon, reviewing the final before it goes out in the bid package, that's totally fine, recognizing that it could possibly have some changes between, now and when it goes out to bid. But we'd just like to have you sign off on it the same way the water district has, so then we're free to get it off to the funder for their approval. And then again, the next step would be bringing it back to you in the water district. If there's any changes that have been made, we can notify you of those changes. You can decide to approve it again then, and then it would be ready to go out to bid.
Yeah, we saw this a while ago when we first started talking about it. It looks pretty much the same as it did back then.
I think you had a copy last meeting when Brent was here.
I meant like way
The
back.
whole packet.
No, just the whole packet
Yeah.
was here last time when Brent was
meeting.
here, yeah.
Anybody have any?
This wasn't in it though.
I think that's.
No, we had this quite a while ago,
Quite a while ago.
the first point. I mean, that haven't really changed, but.
I'm okay with it, as long as we get a chance to review up to the end if there are made any changes. And with that caveat, I think, like you said, we give preliminary approval now and then approve it again if there are any changes made.
That's what Gabe just said.
Yeah, I'm saying, as long as we make sure that's understood.
Okay. I'll make a motion that the select board approves the water district building plans.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Anything else, Gabe?
I think we're kind of where we were last time. I don't have any new updates. The only other thing, if folks are interested, is that stakeholders community meeting. It's our monthly update to the community that happens the last Wednesday of just about every month, unless it's a holiday. And that's at 8:30 tomorrow morning. If folks want to join from the town office, Marjorie will have the Zoom set up. If you want to join online, just go to the downtown project on the website and you'll see the Zoom link when you click onto the downtown project page. So just encourage folks who might want to know what's going on with the project and get some updates. That would be a great time to do that. And yeah, we'll just keep the board apprised as things come in. I think the only sort of new thing, it would be the USDA grant continuing to unfold, and it has been submitted. And there's still some environmental pieces being wrapped up, but that didn't prevent the state from submitting it to the federal USDA for review. So we're very hopeful about that. And again, that's the stormwater piece.
Good.
Just to add to that, I got a call from Mike Jenkins from the USDA office, and he said something to the effect of, I usually don't like to say anything to applicants, but he said, I really feel strongly about this application and it looks really good. And he's looking forward to coming out in March or April to review the project with us. So I'm really hopeful. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I guess it's not wrong to be hopeful.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives that are happening. That this is their only application from Maine, and I think that has a lot to do with their feeling very positive about it.
And Gabe, did you want to just give a brief update on that brick grant?
Sure, if this is a good time. Yes, so I think hopefully hopefully all of you recall, the town submitted a brick grant. I know I've mentioned this a couple times since then, but that was around this time last year, it was sort of January, February, March period. And that again was a collaborative project with all of the islands to do some cohort sort of assessment learning around particular areas of things that folks were working on. Like maybe it was infrastructure projects around infrastructure adaptation, maybe it was energy projects, maybe wildfire mitigation. But the idea is that there'll be islands that are sharing common goals or projects would sort of be working together to share resources, sort of learning, information, engineering support, and then help with writing grant proposals to sort of get everyone to the next step. And the idea is to try to create some efficiencies and sharing information so people with similar projects aren't like kind of reinventing the wheel each time. And Vinyl Haven Sea Level Rise Committee and Climate Committee is going to be looking at this project and how it can be integrated into the work that they're doing and like community engagement and other things. But we have the opportunity to participate in sort of as many of the cohorts that we want to and have the capacity to. So as that evolves, we'll keep you informed. Margie and I met today about what it looks like from the Vinyl Haven side. There's money in there to pay for administration. So there's really like, no cost to the town because costs will be covered. But the next step is we need to contract with someone to actually administer the project because it's a relatively large project, and Vinyl Haven doesn't have in-house capacity to do that kind of work. So that's the next step. So likely within the next 30 days, we will, well, hopefully before then, but we'll be putting out an RFP for soliciting a organization or firm to be able to successfully administer the project on behalf of the town. So I don't know if folks have any questions, but we'll definitely keep you apprised as these things unfold, and then share with you the cohorts. So if there's particular things the select board wants us to focus on, we can make sure to do that.
The only other thing related to downtown project is we've got the initial plans for the 2 boat ramps at the town wharf and the parking lot. If anybody wanted to review those, they're pretty straightforward, but anyway.
Okay. Is that it? Any questions? Alrighty, thank you, Gabe.
Okay, great. I'm gonna hop off if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Steve.
you all. Thanks for your service.
7B, Public Works, also.
Hi. So I've had a conversation recently with Mark Candich about the old fire truck that is being replaced. And something that I was thinking would be, I feel like we might want to try keeping that truck for a year and allowing Public Works to use it for jetting some of these culverts. It's a pretty high pressure hose. And I think it would be a really good thing to try and see if it works and how well it works before we sell it or do anything else with it. Because if it does work, we'll also be able to use it hopefully and potentially on the new storm drains versus getting a jet truck over here. I have 3 people right now that run the pump. We use it actually to fill the roller when we're paving because it's much faster than a hose and a water tank. So I just wanted to put that out there. Mark agreed that it was a great idea. And
Which truck was this? The F-350?
I think so.
The old 1-ton
No,
Ford?
no. It's I think it's a truck 1 that's being replaced.
Engine 1,
Engine 1.
Engine 1,
I'd have to check with,
yep.
Yeah.
It's a bit, it's not the smaller truck. It's
No,
yeah,
no, it's
okay.
the bigger truck, no, and it's got a water tank on it, so that was my main thing, is that along with a higher pressure.
Yep.
It would be great for even cleaning out like smaller culverts, and.
Beaver dams, I didn't say that.
So, just keep that on your radar when the new truck comes in, that Public Works would like to try it for a year. If it doesn't work, or, it's not the greatest thing, then I would say after we try it, I'd come back and say something and you could sell it or whatever you wanted, so. All right, shoveling Main Street. So, this is the second year in a row that I haven't been able to find help. When we find people, you know, they contact you late in the afternoon, they say they wanna do it, and then they ask how much. I tell them between 15 and 16 an hour. I try
No,
to
it's-
stick with 16.
It's 1750.
We're paying
That's
them,
what's in the budget.
it wasn't, it was 16. 1750 and up was, I think, operators. Hold on, we only hire people for 17.
What?
I said we only hire our people for 17, so. Maybe it is and I'm wrong, but even though, finding people's been a nightmare. We get some people signed on, they don't show up, or they shovel for a couple hours and disappear. This past week, this week, I guess, kind of on a little sleep, but, we plowed for over 14 hours and then we spent almost 5 hours, well, it's mostly Dusty and Miles, shoveling and snow blowing and shoveling and snow blowing. 5 hours after working in blinding snow plowing for 14 hours is ridiculous. Not to mention, it makes me nervous for them to be shoveling that much, because if I have a back injury, I'm out an employee for however long, you know, it's on the town, not that anybody else's injury wouldn't be, but.
Well, then you're down a guy,
Huh?
then you'd be down a
Right, I'm
body.
down a person, it's a comp injury, and, you know, I mean, they're slow today, like, they were walking around, every time one of them moved, they'd be like, oh! You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Miles is the youngest one there, but, you know, I mean, it's just a lot, and I know it used to be, I recall years and years ago, that it used to be store owners at least did in front of their buildings. And some store owners are doing that now, because we can't get there before they open.
Right.
You know, we're still plowing. But I mean, it's a lot on everybody, you know, including me trying to find people and set people up, and so, I just would like some input from everybody, what we can do. Bunky did put an ad in.
It's
the Wednesday.
1750 in the budget.
Maybe we went up last year.
Is there any equipment,
Don't tell my employees that.
is there any equipment we can get, the snow blowers, whatever, that
So
would,
we have a snow blower, but it's small,
maybe it's time for another one?
you know, but I mean, even a snow blower, you're still pushing behind that and fighting it.
Yeah, but it's rather than shoveling snow, which is tough on everybody.
It is.
Remember the small tractor with the snow blower on it?
We have a snow blower, we have a small tractor that has a V plow on it, but of course it only fits on Main Street sidewalks safely.
Right,
Anything else,
the V plow
and the V plow, and I mean, it's
and
just.
snow blower would be better.
Right, and we use mostly the snow blower, and the other day they put the bucket back on the little tractor, but it just isn't strong enough. You know, and a lot of our sidewalks are so narrow, I mean, we haven't done anything with the hill yet, because it's difficult. I mean, nothing fits on the hill, even the snow blower doesn't fit between the pole and.
Right, and the retaining wall.
So, I mean, tomorrow I'm hoping to get the backhoe at least up the hill, to the top of the hill, and just move the snow to Coots. But, you know, it's strenuous.
challenge.
And it's a challenge, a huge challenge. I
think
mean,
we
I do
have
think a bigger snow blower would certainly help, but it's just somebody to operate it.
I think you almost have to do something like that, 'cause you're obviously not gonna get the people to do it.
Yeah,
Oh, a bunch of old guys around here, so they're not gonna wanna shovel snow anyway.
right.
Probably shouldn't.
And you know, I went up to the transfer station today, and, because I'm like, well, maybe the Bobcat and the snow blower on that, but the snow blower on that thing's 5 feet wide or
Wouldn't be
whatever.
bad for Main Street.
It'd be great on the big wide part of Main Street, but, you know, then the rest would be, not to mention we don't have anything to tow it with.
Right,
We drive it all the way down.
that'd be fun though.
You know, and I mean, there are tractors out there, there are snow blower tractors out there, there's all this, but again, you know, that comes with a price tag, so.
Well, so's a back injury.
So does, any of the store owners, have you talked to any of them personally, or
I
has
didn't wanna-
anybody said,
I didn't wanna open that can of worms. I thanked people for shoveling in front of their place and helping,
right,
but that's as far as I've gone with it.
Earl did in front of my house this time. My snow blower was out of gas, I had to chase down gas, so.
Was that who was out there?
The Earl was out.
couldn't
I don't
see
know
who
how
it
we
was.
go about requesting
Is it the,
help from the store owners to try to help take care of their sidewalks in front of their businesses, I don't know.
City of Portland mandated it, and fined businesses that didn't do it.
Rockland has an ordinance.
I mean,
I don't know if that's necessary, but that's how the city of Portland did.
well, I know we
Most
discussed it
cities do.
years ago to ask them to help,
Yeah.
because
Where's
it's.
Kim Smith when we need him?
Well, the thing of it is the businesses are dealing with the same issue you have, is trying to find enough help.
Right, yeah,
So, I mean, it's a catch-22.
yep.
Maybe we need to look at a snow blower, a narrower snow blower, 3-foot snow blower for the tractor. Something that will,
That one had one, but it seemed to me, it didn't work well.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but it's the machine, I can't even remember the machine, but
I'll stop up.
it's down in the ambulance bay.
Is it?
Keep it down there,
Yep.
'cause we don't have anything
That's
to
the right
move
place,
it with.
that's the right place to keep it.
Yeah.
I'll swing down and take a look at it. I worked on small windows
Well,
for a
the
while.
snow blower's gone.
I know, but I can do a little research for you and see what's,
Yanmar,
yeah, that's a decent name.
yeah. I mean, it's a nice little tractor.
Yeah.
It's got a cab on it, no heat. It's got a cab on it.
Well, he can be rigged up.
Yeah, they had one of the plug-in ones there,
You
but
get a
it
bus here with a
fried.
boat, yeah, like they have in boats, just run the corner from the engine through it.
Okay, anything else, Millie?
Yes, speed radar sign. We have a speed radar sign that came from MDOT, I'm guessing 5 to 7 years ago. And they never asked for it back, and we can't, I mean, I talked to them the other day. We didn't have keys to it or anything, it was never put together, nothing was ever done with it. But it doesn't, the reason for that is there was no trailer with it, it just was the screen, it tells you, your speed and the speed that you should be going. So, I'm wondering, I've been talking to them, they sent me the key, so that we can open the control box up and put it together. And if it works, I'm thinking that we should get a little trailer for it and put it to use in the summertime.
Once we get the speed limit established.
Yes, and the speeds are established, there's just a couple signs that need to be
Right.
switched over that, a couple of them need new posts, and I can't drive a post right now.
No, but I mean, when the time comes.
Yep.
To,
Right, and I'm hoping that we get some warm weather here in the next, where's our February thaw, so that we can get some signposts in and.
What did you tell me you thought the trailer cost? It was not very,
About 600 with, that's because I would want a hitch lock on it, and,
we can tow it.
they're small. You can order one, from Northern Tool for God's sakes, for like $600, and then I would want to get the hitch lock for it so that it can't be hooked up to a vehicle and taken away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
most of them padlock thing.
Yep, and then,
It would
of
happen.
course, I'd take one of our old chains and a padlock and chain it to whatever we're near so that it can't end up, in the quarry or the round pond or so, but, I don't know, I know Pam, I talked to you a little bit about it, and, I don't know if we put it in the budget to start in July, or how you wanna do it, or if you wanna do it at all.
I don't see how it would hurt to have, I mean, we have the thing. And it does seem to deter you when you're driving and you come upon one of those things, you kind of go, oh,
and it's screaming at you, slow down.
it might help up on the flat where people go zipping by about
If it's
50.
on a trailer, we can move it around.
Exactly.
Sand, school road,
I mean, I think it's a good idea.
And put a camera on it.
short money,
Camera, yeah.
You could
fairly
easily.
short money.
I would like to have, lights for the school to flash when
Yeah,
school's
15 miles an hour
intersection.
zone.
Yep, from like 7:30 to 8:30, and again
Didn't
from
we
2:15 to 3:15.
I was thinking we explored that when Phil was on, I don't know if you were,
I lived on the mainland.
yeah, no, when Phil Crossman, when, that's just before we got the crossing, the ones they
Yeah.
have now where you just push the button to slow down or stop. And it was quite pricey.
Yeah,
The
I mean, I
flat-
know
the
that, just
one
my thought is on the speed zone, you have a school zone ahead sign, but you don't know, I mean, anybody who does not have children in school doesn't know, is school open today, is school not open today, what time is school? So people don't slow down through there at all.
Oh, no, they don't, and even if you push the button to activate the lights on those signs, people still go cruising right by, they just,
Yeah, that's just a crossing sign.
they don't stop for much sometimes. Marjorie?
If you're thinking seriously about that, you might want to just check the regulations. I think at the time that the school opened, we looked into some sort of yellow blinking light, and there was some reason why we couldn't have that. You know how the traffic
yeah.
lights and
I mean,
traffic
just,
signs are
look
very
on it.
highly regulated?
Yep.
It just, I remember vaguely that there was some reason why we couldn't have, a big flashy
I
yellow.
will, look
It's
on
expensive,
MUTCD
too.
and see what the rules are.
Anything else?
Okay. I was wondering if, I mean, I know there's snow on the ground right now, so it can't happen right instantly, but, there's a couple huge potholes.
Can you email me about those? And-
Yeah,
or
the ones right by,
comments?
just turning into the dump, where the
Yep.
tires run out.
Yeah, I'm aware of this,
Yeah.
it's frozen, but I'd appreciate being like emailed or something versus doing it here. It'd just be easier for me, cause then I'll
Keep track of
remember
it.
and keep track of it all.
The snow level's an option.
Yeah, I sent out an email, I don't know if you got it, asking if you have anything that you want Millie to look at, to do that, so that she can put it on her list of things,
And then you
rather
don't have to
than,
wait 2 weeks either.
yeah, that'd be good, thanks. You all set?
I am. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Um,
Yes,
And Jim is here to help me talk to you about something that I have on my town manager's report. I just wondered if we could talk about it now so that he doesn't have to hang around through the rest of.
you don't encourage people to stay in
I'm
our
sorry.
meetings, you really,
sorry.
she said, oh, let's get these people out of there, then they
was
can
kind-
leave.
Get comfortable, Jim.
happy to be here.
He was kind enough to say that he would come.
Go ahead, Marjorie.
Well, we had a issue at the ramp at the thoroughfare. This was last Wednesday. It's right around the same time. Jim came to see me about the problem, and he and Chris Kolofsky were on it to make some repairs on the ramp. But right around that same time, it was the same day or the day after, Foy Brown called and said that there was a problem with the ramp. So there was a lot of go-around between Jim and Foy and myself and Chris Kolofsky. But Jim speaks the language better than I do, so I wondered if you could just review what happened in your.
As some of you people know, or here, we voted on having a new ramp and a new float. Fortunately, we had it built before the storm and we could get it out quick. We all voted for the specifications of it, and being the metal grating, so it would be firmer and the water wouldn't freeze on the wooden float, it would just go down through. And the complaint from North Haven was that it was too high. So we put the grating on, which lowered it down some. And first the complaint was, well, Mary can't get her dog down the thing, down the ramp and on the floor because of the dog. So Foy went ahead and he built a side you all see, and the wooden going up and to accommodate that, and that's all fine and good. So Foy didn't want to put, the complaint was that now people don't want the grading, and it sets too low. okay? So we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't kind of situation that we're in here with,
Well, Foy has
Foy on
actually
one side.
refused to install the float, so
Right.
we have a new float, but Foy doesn't like it and
he doesn't like it
won't
with the metal
install it.
floats, with the metal grating.
Right,
He doesn't like that. Now, being political here, we need Foy on our side. He doesn't,
Right.
he totally doesn't want to deal with that. He's been quite adamant about it, because he doesn't approve it. Because it's his people that don't like it. And when it's rough out, the water comes up over because now it's too low, okay? And the water comes up over, the stuff crashes up over, and now he wants to redeck it with wood. So I talked with him on several occasions, and today before the meeting. And in the past, he said he could redeck it with wood for $3,000. Also, we need to put chain on it, on the ramp to the float to make it more sturdy. And according to Floyd, it should have had cross pieces in it, which he didn't put any cross pieces in it. And I talked to Scostafy about that, and he says, I don't put in cross pieces in any of them, and I've never had a problem. So I said, okay. So for $3,000, I can come up with a chain, I'm sure, with Pete. For $3,000, he'll redeck it. We'll have the grading, which is very expensive, I don't know what it costs, but I know it's very expensive. We'll have the grading back, which we can, at some point, get our money back, or most of it for it, I'm sure, at some point, because we'll have it. It's something that people will use, which will bring the float up higher, because the weight won't be on it, and it will make Foy happy, okay? So, meanwhile, now, the ramp itself, some of the underneath the what do you call it, the supports underneath, several of them cracked. So I sent him back up there to re-weld it and double re-weld it and double re-weld everything else too, to make sure that was even more sturdy. He said he's never had a problem with any other ramp before, but right there is a high weather situation for any ramp, and and I said, I'll go to the meeting tonight, I'll talk to the board with the manager, see what they say about redoing the top of the float with wood instead of grate, take the grating off, dispose of it at a later date, and try to get our money back, which I'm sure we will at some point, because it's usable grading, it's all just standard size grading, we'll get rid of it, I just can't say when, yes.
I'm assuming sooner or later you're gonna put more floats down here, down to the town walk. Why not just
It
save
will
it
get
for that?
used.
Yeah, to save it for, do we
It will
have,
get used one way or the other.
So-
But I'm saying, rather than selling it, I'd just use it on the
It's an
next
asset.
float we make.
Yes, Millie?
I also think, I mean, obviously, the wooden ramp that was there before, wood moves as the steel does not. But I believe the old ramp, correct me if I'm wrong, was on a chain system, not pins, which allowed it to move and
Yeah, and we
do
need to,
this.
and we need to get chain back on.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
and get rid of the pin, right, yeah.
And that's what broke the bolt?
Well, it didn't help it, any not having it,
Oh, okay.
okay, so probably yes. I would say that contributed a lot to it.
well, I guess the question is, do we wanna spend another $3,000?
do we have it in the cut?
It's not, I don't have anything in the operating budget, I mean, we could use some harbor reserve money, I mean, that's the only place I can think of.
Well, when would he plan to do the work?
Immediately.
Okay. Millie?
Do we, I mean, is the float that's up there in bad shape?
No,
So can we just sell that float? Or,
He wants to take that float and put wood decking
no,
on
you're
it.
talking about the floats that's in the water now.
the one that's in the
She's
water
talking
now?
about the one that's being used right now,
Yeah.
the wooden float.
That's not ours,
That's
right?
not ours.
Oh,
it's the one that's been there for,
I think it is.
yeah, that's our float.
Well, there are two in the summer, correct?
Yeah, Foy brings another one over, that is his.
I don't know.
But
Don't quote me on it, because I don't know if it's ours, but
I don't know.
I
I
can
mean,
only
the one with
assume that.
the one with the grading isn't,
The grading one's ours, because we've
It's-
been
it's-
fortunate to have it. the
That's-
town's
It
been
hasn't even
fortunate
been
to have it.
installed.
yeah,
That's the one that Foy thinks should have wood decking.
When it's rough up, that little float is working just fine. When it's rough out, it's all over the place.
So then would he install a second float? I guess now I'm
Well,
confused.
now if we get the one we had built just for the purpose with the new ramp back, get it out there with a wooden deck on it, because it will be, appeasing Foy. That's the only thing I can see where it's gonna be an asset, because I firmly believe the one with the grading is a safer and smarter choice. And so did, Peter Gasparini, and he knows a hell of a lot more about anything like that than I do. And, so this is really about appeasing Foy so we don't piss him off, because we're gonna need him, okay? We're gonna need Foy on our side. And I figured, well, the only thing we can do is ask the board to select board, we need to appease Floyd, get it reboarded, or it sets on the beach and we find our own people to deal with it, and Floyd doesn't wanna deal with it. Kind of, that's what I'm looking at.
No, we don't have the equipment.
I'm just saying, we don't
really, the town really doesn't have the equipment to go up there and do
want
it.
Floyd on the wrong side.
Right,
We want Floyd up on our side.
no, yeah.
And for $3,000, I'd spend it.
Does that include the ladder that we
Well, you know,
desperately need?
I don't know if we can set a ladder on those grades.
But it can go,
one where.
it would go on the
But we're
wood.
getting rid of the
Well,
grates,
I
that's the
mean,
point,
Foy
right?
will install one.
We
probably in the
need a
spring.
ladder on
We
that
do need
float.
one,
Yes.
and it was all approved to do it, but I think the whole float thing is what stopped him. Because he wasn't gonna put it on that float if we were putting a new float in. And then I think he caught wind of the float and,
I don't remember.
On each side, it's got the, where you can grab onto it. I mean, any normal person should be able to step up and pull themselves up onto the floor.
If you're overboard,
Oh, if you're overboard, I'm sorry.
it's a
Yeah.
safety thing that I think we need a ladder, so if somebody falls overboard, they at least have some hope
Well, I
of being
agree.
able to get out.
I got, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I understand now, yes,
Yeah.
I understand.
but if he's gonna board it over, he can install
He can
the swim
install
ladder
that.
right there.
Yeah.
Cost a few
I mean, I've been talking about it for 2 years
years.
now. And I just think with so many people coming back and forth in the winter, if somebody should slip overboard, especially like Bill Travascus, who might be mostly by himself crossing.
Yeah,
Should have one on each side.
I mean, he fell overboard on the other side, and thank God there was a ladder that he climbed out, so.
My neighbor next to Audrey's old house was crossing every day too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that,
yeah. There's a
and they could be
lot
by
of-
themselves, or even if they aren't, it's still, I just,
Definitely need a ladder.
so,
I say
to
we
me, if
sell
that's,
this new one.
the whole thing is safety, I don't know about the grading. What, I mean, we can use it somewhere else, so, yeah, $3,000, we have it in the harbor reserve.
Well, you're gonna need a few more bucks if you're gonna have ladders on each side, so.
But to me, it would make sense
And
to,
it would
Yep,
cause,
me too.
and it would cause a lot of no drama of making everybody,
exactly.
or like I say, we can reuse the grate and for.
Yeah.
when we
For
do our
something
done.
else, yeah.
I mean, our floats are in
Maybe
such
Chris
hard
would be
shape.
interested in it.
Yes.
Anyway, it's good to try to keep one. But I would approve of the, if Marjorie thinks there's money in the harbor reserve,
Yes.
let's make a motion to
Deck the
have,
float.
have Foy redeck the float
With
and the
ladders.
ladders,
with ladders.
with ladders,
Second.
got it.
That's a great motion. All just like that. Okay, any more discussion on this?
Seconded, both, she seconded it, but then all in
Any more
favor.
discussion?
Oh, no.
Okay. You seconded, all in favor?
Got
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
Did you
Thanks for
vote yes?
coming,
Okay, I
Jim.
didn't see your
You
hand,
can
thank you.
explain it a lot easier than I can.
Well, I can try.
There.
My mechanical brain isn't very mechanical.
Well, we won't go there.
It's like I say to
No,
people,
it's not.
Pete's the brains, I just drive around, talk to people and look pretty.
Thanks, Jimmy. Okay, good, that's good to get that figured out. So we'll move along, number 8, no old business, number 9, new business. B, liquor license, Vinalhaven Community Brewery Special Event Application. Oops, where'd that go? And you've seen this, right, for the, tasting, special taste testing event, Vinalhaven Community Brewery. So, I would make a motion that we authorize Elizabeth Bunker to approve the license on behalf of the board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? C, review of meeting with representatives from islands served by Maine State Ferry Service.
Let's see, so
You're welcome. Thank you.
Pam was there and Donald was there?
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. And Leslie was there on Zoom. I think it went well. We tried to get updates on any legislative action, and we talked about whether or not we should hire a lobbyist. There was pretty much a consensus not to do that at this time. We talked about the Ferry Advisory Board meeting that's this week that I will be attending, and we're gonna have another meeting on the 28th. There was a lot of discussion about possible legislative action. We had a note from Representative Michael Ray from Islesboro. I don't know if you had a chance to read through the minutes at all, yeah. So we are gonna try to have another meeting on the 28th. I don't know if Donald or Pam, you wanna give your general impressions of the meeting, but it was very well attended, and I think that it's important for the islands to be unified in their presentations and thoughts to the Department of Transportation, the Transportation Commissioner. And I think in that light that it was a really good meeting.
I thought it was a very good meeting.
Me
One of the
too.
things that I thought, I came away not realizing beforehand, came away with the impression that the guy that talked about with the ferry service that wants to make all these moves, his rationale or reason for wanting to make this change seemed really suspect after the input from the representatives from the ferry from the union. It's clear that the personnel do not want this change, and that was what he was saying, that the change was being driven by the people that wanted to have houses on the mainland rather than stay on the island. The opposite seemed to be true.
A better work-life balance, I think, is the way that he described it. What Donald is talking about is some things that Peter Drury brought up, that the union has actually done interviews with current employees to say, you know, is this something that you think is beneficial? Is this something that you want, you know, to have the boats live on the mainland rather than on the islands? And percentage-wise, I mean, some of the people said that they would actually have to quit.
50% said they would leave.
Because if you think about it, I mean, like on Swan's Island, they go to work, they live on the island and go back and forth. But if the boat lived on the mainland, let's say they might commute an hour and a half to Bass Harbor, and they couldn't really do that. It wouldn't be feasible for them to commute to Bass Harbor on a daily basis. In other words, the way that it works now is they just live on Swans, and that's where they, yeah. for the week that they're on duty.
Of
and
the
and that
Owlsboro
works.
crew, the captain was the only one who said it wouldn't affect him because he
Right.
lived in Lincolnville. Everybody else said it wouldn't work for them. They would have to quit.
The chair of the select board for North Haven said their captain lives in New Hampshire. So
So it
it
doesn't
wouldn't
really.
work for him.
It doesn't ring true. I mean, at the same time that morning that we were meeting, we all received this letter from Bruce Van Note. I don't know, was this distributed to?
It was, I
Came in
didn't get a
an
chance to
email.
read it, but
Okay,
it was sent
okay.
out.
And it just, some of the things that he says in the letter that we were just discussing just doesn't ring true. Because he's talking about creating a better work-life balance for the employees, whereas the employees, when they're interviewed, it does, that isn't what they want. And then later on in the week, I did receive a call from John Emerson, who was on the Ferry Advisory Board representing North Haven. And we all, at that meeting, there was a pretty broad consensus not to hire a lobbyist at this time. But he called and said that he's rethinking it. He said that Islesboro, Islesboro actually has a separate committee, the Islesboro Task Force, to deal with this. And they are moving forward with hiring Genevieve McDonald as a lobbyist. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. They may, my note is Islesboro may hire her. She's a former legislator.
So I thought that name sounded
Yeah.
familiar.
Me too.
And he wondered if the islands, based on the fact that it would be Genevieve McDonald, if the islands wanted to reconsider. But I think it's something we would just have to bring up at the next meeting. I guess the point at this meeting is to just ask if there would be any interest in paying for part of that cost of
Not
hiring
yet.
a lobbyist. I mean, when we met with all the islands, there were so many people that said, no, we don't really want to do that at this time. But I told John that I would discuss it briefly at our selectmen's meeting to see if anybody changed their mind or had any thoughts about it, the people that weren't at the meeting, for instance.
I mean, I think it might be putting the cart before the horse a little bit. We don't even know whether there's gonna be any legislative, any bills go through the legislature. And that's really where the lobbyists would come in handy, when these bills start working their way through the legislature. Once we know what, if any, legislative action is gonna be taken, then it might make sense to discuss a lobbyist.
To
That's
know
just my
more
thought
about
process.
what the specific actions of the person might
Exactly,
be,
yeah.
would be what you'd want to know, is that?
I think, though, jumping back to Van Nott's position, it's obvious that what he said was his rationale for doing this is not right. So the question is, to me, for the board, for the advisory commission, what's motivating him, what's driving him, what's behind his desire to make this change? There's gotta be something we're not, until we know what that is, it's gonna be hard to.
Good question.
He's not gonna tell us.
No, he speaks
I
out
don't
of both
know.
sides of his mouth.
Yes, he does.
He says this and he'll say that. I feel, and Jason Joyce and I talked on the phone the other night for 45 minutes about this whole thing, and we were kind of wondering, because of the electric boats and Janet Mills' desire to have the green energy, if that has something to do with it. Just they want these electric boats, so they want the charging stations on the mainland, and it really has nothing to do with the crew, or, what, you don't really know, because they want those electric boats. She definitely is going for that, which, whatever, I don't know anything about the
I don't
feasibility
know
of
enough about
those.
the technology to,
Right, but there's no reason why
getting
they,
better all the time,
why
but-
they wouldn't be able to put charging units on the islands
exactly.
to charge the
One more thing.
batteries, and what if the boats did get on the island and broke
in
down, and then like, oh, now what do we do?
And not only that, but they keep saying, we don't have money, we have to raise the rates, we don't have money for this, we can't pay the crew that, we can't do this, we can't do that. They're gonna spend how many millions of dollars on electric boats? Where's that money coming from?
Grant money, federal grants.
Probably from, well,
I think it's a horrible
who
idea.
knows now, probably not. Marjorie?
I think one of the answers to that question, Leslie, is that with the operating account, it has to be 50/50 according to the legislature or state law, according to state law. In other words, they have to pay 50% of the operating costs, and we have to, the other 50% comes from the fare box. But with capital expenditures, they don't have to adhere to that. So it's because of the difference between the operating fund and the capital.
Okay,
What they're thinking is, oh, this isn't operating funds, so we can buy an emergency boat for them to use out of the capital fund.
I see.
And it's
Okay.
not, it doesn't fall under the 50/50 rule.
Thank you for explaining.
Just like when he said he'd spend $10 million on a breakwater, he's saying that because it's coming out of a different,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's infrastructure.
I thought his comment that the islands expect us to spend millions of dollars on 2,800 people? That was such a slap in the face of every person that live on these islands. And then Bill Pulver saying that, why can't they hire island people to be relief crew, what they used to call relief crew?
Yep.
And his comment was because nobody would be able to pass a drug test. Now, how?
Seriously?
Yes, and it's,
Ridiculous.
and they wouldn't be able to pass it anyway, meaning not only are everybody's stupid, but they're all on drugs. The man was so awful, it was embarrassing
Wow.
and
Certain arrogance
maddening.
about that, isn't there?
So I don't know, and Jason Joyce sent me an email yesterday, I think, or a text, whatever, it doesn't matter, and asked what I thought about, would we be able to find 6 people on Vinalhaven that might want to take the Coast Guard, the test, get AB. Remember that man came out and
Yeah.
offered that?
I know one person who got it.
And I said, well, I don't know, if the state were to pay for it, and I said, did they offer to do that? And he said, well, that was one of the things he said at that big meeting
I saw
that they had in Rockland, and he said, he's gotten other islands to say, yes, they've got X amount of people that would take the test and wanna be a relief crew, and I said, well, I could ask around, like, are there any men or women on Vinalhaven that would wanna do that in the event, and so, anyway, he said Taza Watt was gonna ask some guys or people about it. I thought, well, that's interesting. If you actually came up with 5 or 6 people from each island that said, well, hey, we'd take the test, and then you'd have your relief crew.
Right. Yep. And his letter, there was a typo in his letter.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
Yep. and I-
Millie, you had.
Somebody didn't proofread.
I was just gonna say, and the thing about the AB is people are concerned with, they're logging their hours for being on a boat, but fishermen
Fish that
can
count.
use
It
their
counts,
hours
yeah.
to count. So
Exactly.
I think that's important for people to know.
And with the kind of way the lobster industry is looking down the road is a little nerve-wracking. A lot of people might want to consider finding another source of,
Having a plan B.
source of income, even though it wouldn't be a steady income, but even still, if they, I don't know. But I think the meeting next week will be good. We might have more information about what went into the legislature.
I got a list of the bills that have gone in, and I didn't see
Didn't see
anything,
anything.
so.
Well, at least we're moving ahead to some degree. It seems
At
that
least
we're
talking.
making some progress, and I think having an island coalition is helpful.
What time is the meeting on the 28th?
9 o'clock.
Okay, I think I'm gonna come up here.
In fact, you said 9 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because we had the discussion about morning people.
So
Guilty.
9 o'clock next Tuesday morning.
Yeah. I think
There'll
I'm
be
gonna come
another
up.
Zoom meeting.
I'll try not to be traveling this time, so.
That's okay. You have to do what you have to do, right?
It was a good meeting,
I thought it was.
start.
So, anyway, anything else you wanna add, Marjorie, to?
No, as I said, I'll be going to the Ferry Advisory Board meeting on Thursday. I haven't touched base with Alan to see if he's going, but, I'll be there in person.
Okay. All right, we all set to move on? D, set town meeting date. So we did.
We did?
Yep, and that will be June 12th at the auditorium at 6 PM.
All right.
Hope that works for everybody. I'm sure that our faithful citizens will be there in droves.
I'm sure they will be.
Yes, I don't really see
Unless
anybody.
Marjorie drives them off, tells them.
You don't have to stay.
Put something controversial on the warrant.
Stuck it in there to start.
I know, that'll,
It's all gonna be
Put money under a bunch
It's a
of.
Thursday, interesting.
I know. Well,
door prize.
Put the new grader on there, see what happens.
Yes, that'll get people out.
All right, it's in my calendar.
right, and number 10, budget workshop.
I know that I'm moving ahead a tiny bit, but just to get the town manager's report out of the way, the only other thing on that was that I got a call from John Williams asking for a temporary construction easement over town property up on Tiptoe Mountain, off of Tiptoe Mountain Road. And I need to look into whether or not, I know if we give somebody a permanent easement, it's gotta go to town meeting, but I've never done a temporary construction easement.
Who is it?
John Williams, they wanna
Oh.
build something, but they need access over town property just for a short period of time.
Did we do one for Rabbit Lodge?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look and see how we did that one.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So we can look at that.
Yeah, I think Andy still there?
I can't remember
Was
the
it a
name, I
town
just-
meeting or just a
Nope.
selectmen?
I think we just,
Okay.
I think we just gave
I
it.
just wanted to let you know that I'd be looking into that. As far as I wanted to talk a little bit about, the fire chief position.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Side conversation.
As you know, we don't have an ambulance director anymore since Ryan left, and Fire Chief Mark Candage has been taking on that role. And things seem to be working. Pat Lundholm has stepped up again, and she's doing some of the administrative work, paperwork, if you will. But Mark Candage has the role of the ambulance director. So he's got ambulance director and fire chief. One thing that one hat that he would like to remove, which would make it easier for him to be the ambulance director, is to take away the emergency management director. And we talked a bit about it. I don't really have a separate job description. So what we're gonna be looking into is to get a job description, and then talk about, well, how much do we budget for this? Is this like I think about it as maybe a stipend position that we could advertise if somebody wanted to take it on. In terms of, we deal with Knox County Emergency Management, and I guess it used to be that the emergency management directors did tend to be the fire chief or somebody in the fire department, but we're trending away from that because I don't know if any of you have ever taken any of those ICS courses, the, emergency management.
We did one in early,
We're all supposed to, I think.
well,
Yeah,
we did one, I think, yeah.
I mean, the emergency management director is the person that's kind of directing all of the assets and the department heads, and Mark, as a department head, shouldn't really be the emergency management director. So that's something that we're working on, that, is this a separate department? Is it just part of public safety? Anyway, and I just wondered what anybody's thoughts were on developing the structure differently.
Oh, Stone.
I think that we probably need to think about this real careful, because Mark was gonna get back. And I'm not sure, I think we're really gonna need to, because I think there'd be too much on his plate come summertime with a lot of people here between the two jobs. So what I would suggest is, when you go into budget, let's budget for it, put a number in there, and I don't care if it's 70,000, we don't have to pay it, but let's put enough budget money aside so we can do it.
All right, sign me up.
It looks like we got a crew.
It's not a salary, it's a budget and just a placeholder.
So how many hours are we looking at per week?
Yeah, I
I
think that's what we
mean,
need to know before we even,
yeah,
It varies.
And it's a plan that you have to follow. The plan is all instituted, you just have to make
And
sure
then
that
when
you.
you have the
But you
FEMA
need-
stuff,
Right,
then it,
Well, you have an emergency operations plan locally, and then you have the emergency, what is it called, the Knox County
yeah,
has.
him and I,
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
participated in the development of that. They're just redoing theirs. They redo it every 5 years. Yeah.
But we should be able to
So-
find out what the going rate is on something like this. It should be something that's fairly easy to nail down.
It's kind
we-
of hard, because there's the salary survey from MMA.
Yeah.
There isn't a specific EMA director in any of
In that one,
those.
yeah.
Usually
There
it's
must be.
combined with something
do
else.
any other
Yeah.
small towns in our size have that separated out?
There's a couple that,
Islesboro, I thought they had
It's like
something
maybe a
like that.
stipend, it's usually the fire chief. I mean, a lot of them
Which makes
are.
sense, especially small towns.
Mhm.
Because they're gonna be involved in every.
So it's hard to
pretty much every
say.
EMS event.
It's hard to say what that
He
piece
ends up spending
salary is.
a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could reach outside the state just to get an idea what people are paying.
so what we'll be working on, then is to get a job description, get something in the budget that's reasonable to pay that person. What else did you say? Oh, how many hours?
yeah, I mean, if it's only like 15 or 20 hours a week, it makes sense to have it as a stipend. But if it's gonna be 35, 36 hours a
I don't
week.
think so. I don't think
No.
it's that much.
can be.
And like Millie said, it's sometimes, like when Knox County is working on the plan, it is a
It is.
few more hours.
Yeah.
But normally it's, what? Emergencies.
It's emergency.
Like when we have a weather event,
Mhm.
one of the things that we always have to do is make sure that we track what our employees are doing, where they're going, how many hours, what tasks are they doing, and
Equipment used,
equipment, yeah.
horsepower of the equipment.
Yeah.
Probably-
But
So
would
it's
it be
things like
offered to
that.
somebody in the fire department?
Probably involved in training and drills as well, I would think.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily has to be, it's just cooling things down in there.
Yeah,
I don't think it necessarily has to be from the fire department.
no, but I was just
If
thinking of,
somebody was in it, it might,
Yeah,
might be more familiar with what goes on and equipment.
so that's kind of the plan that we're looking at this year. I also wanted to make sure that I asked you for comments on you know, the fact that Mark is the fire chief and the ambulance director, Pat Lundholm will be doing some of the administrative work. It's not a sustainable model from the perspective of Pat coming back.
That's what I was wondering, is Denise was gonna take some of that work as well, wouldn't she?
And she can, but there's some other,
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
mitigating circumstances.
yes,
It's super nice of Pam to come back and do that, but we shouldn't expect her to,
right.
at
At
some
this
point, she isn't gonna come back.
right, she doesn't
Well,
wanna
like
be.
she
Yeah,
says,
yeah, she
you know,
doesn't,
I'm not a young woman, she's 75.
yeah, she doesn't wanna be the ambulance
That-
director at all,
no.
but she kinda likes what she's
Oops, I'm
doing at
sorry,
this
Pat, I
point.
shouldn't have said that out loud, maybe.
She likes
But she admits,
doing the administrative pieces of it, you know, a little bit of training and, that's, you know, but it's not sustainable.
Right.
You know, it's like me, I'm not sustainable.
Yes, you are.
You know,
Yes, you
I'm,
It may
are.
be resilient, but not sustainable, right?
Well, as long as we
You know, at
budget
some
for it.
point-
pressure to
That's
put
my
on
point. But
people
you
when
budget enough so you don't have to go back and ask. for
all
more.
right, so that's kind of our plan. I just wanted you to
Find
know
somebody-
generally what our
some young
plan
people
with,
start
plan
taking over
is
some
for
of
that
these jobs.
department. And certainly, it's all fluid, all ongoing, you know.
I mean, we just did the 5-year plan with all the ambulances.
True.
The fire trucks, the dump trucks, the tractors, everything that we had
Right.
in the case of a disaster, you know, where we would.
We just
house
updated
people.
everything with
Yeah.
Knox County. What do they call it? The hazard mitigation
Yeah, hazard
plan?
mitigation.
Yeah,
plan.
yeah,
I mean, it's all done for the next 4 years, well,
yeah,
4.5 years.
right.
But at this
And then it's
point,
just
I would
keep them
suggest we
training.
just go ahead and define the position so we know what
Right.
someone's getting into, and then budget an amount. But budget enough so we don't, if you get a surprise, we don't have to go back and ask for more. Yeah, that's the worst thing we can do, I think.
Okay. So we've already gone over that wage and benefits page. I don't know how much you wanted to get through. I've done quite a few of the budgets, and what I've given you is the summaries for departmental budgets. I put in based on our salary survey, I put in a substantial increase for the selectmen, but you'll probably vote me down.
Now, why would you say that?
I don't know, I don't know. Based on what our research has been through the salary survey, the average for a town this size would be a total of 20,000, and that ends up being, what is that? About 4,000?
4 apiece?
Yeah. So I'm just putting that out there, that's what other towns are, paying their selectmen.
Are they really? Huh. Who knew?
And this, the budget committee is gonna start meeting this Friday. That's how it came out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna start meeting on Friday. So I'll have more input from the budget committee at a later date. I don't know how, if you want to go through the different departments. Most of the increases are because of salaries and wages. I mean, do you want me to go, and then, you know, increases in health insurance?
No kidding. I mean, we talked about all of the reasoning behind the increases
Right.
last meeting, and we all, I think we all pretty much agreed. So,
I didn't put in an increase for the assessor, because he hasn't even been here for a year. So that budget is a little bit lower than last year, but no surprises. How about legal services and engineering? I put in 25, we haven't spent anything in legal expenses this year. And, so I
More
put
than
in,
that.
Just see, it's only January, right?
Started.
That was a fiscal year.
Yeah,
I put in 25,000 for legal and 20 for engineering. The 20 is the same as the previous year. 25 is $10,000 less. Thoughts?
We do have a lot of projects going on. I'm sure we'll,
yeah, a lot of the engineering's already been done though, so it's just kinda good.
some, not for the downtown project, but for the other,
That's true.
4 or 5 other projects we've
Yeah,
Talked about.
talked about. We got the breakwater, well, not the breakwater, but the old half of the,
Yeah,
The wave
Wave
break.
break.
the pan, there's,
North Haven Road,
Which I've only used 10,000 from this year's budget.
So what, do you mean we should increase the, engineering piece? Is that what you're saying?
or at least, I mean, I thought you had a decent amount in there.
20.
I had
It's the same as last year.
20,000 and 25 for legal.
you just drop the legal down a little bit. Like the engineering the same.
Yes.
About 4 pages in, lad, is the legal.
I think it'd be a mistake to drop legal. You never know what's gonna happen, and you really don't want, you don't have to spend it, but you really don't wanna go back and ask for more if you get into something.
We've had to do that before.
well, yeah, that was
Yeah,
Yeah,
quite,
I mean, 25,000, don't go far.
No,
You
sir.
actually,
I'd be back to 40 or 50 and use it judiciously, not waste it. But we're looking at, we still have a lot of litigation in front of us with these junkyards and places that need to be addressed. We, without naming any names, we've got one that's an eyesore every day when you go by it. And it's obviously not legal.
What do you, well, what do you? what do you
I
think?
don't, to leave it at the 35 doesn't bother me. Yeah. To
Yeah,
keep
I'm
it,
okay with that.
Yeah,
you know,
just in case.
and I'm not suggesting that we go look for trouble.
Yeah.
Nothing finds its way along.
so with
the road,
engineering,
but
we've already
looking
spent,
for it.
we spent 10,000 for the 24 year. We got 20 in the budget.
Or was that last year?
Well, this current year, we spent nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, for last year's, we had 10.
Yeah. Yeah. So just leave it 35 and 20?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, a
We
lot
do
of
have a lot of
projects.
stuff.
The Washington School. I had budgeted almost 23,000 for custodial wages, but I just don't get that many hours from the custodians, so I reduced that to the average that they work.
Okay, nothing. Nothing. I was gonna ask a question, but about that, is that just one custodian? Would there be room to add a second part-time custodian?
is it necessary?
I'm gonna answer that.
Is there room to hire?
Would there be a possibility that there could be a second part-time?
I know when we, the last time we advertised, a lot of people wanted $30 an hour. I mean, I guess what we're doing now is working.
What's the hourly
the hourly rate,
Mhm.
it will be $17.94.
Okay.
Any other questions on the Washington School?
Are we done with, the building, exterior of the building?
Well, other than now working on some landscaping and such, I always try to do those things under the reserves, put money into the reserve and save up to do those big projects. But certainly, it's not really an operating thing.
But the majority of work that needed to be done,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
done,
it's done.
correct?
It's done.
So anything that would come up now would just come out of the reserve?
Maintenance and landscaping,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to get the landscaping
Yes,
back.
yep, I agree. Okay.
Maybe a nice new sign at the end of the road that doesn't do this.
What?
A nice sign at the end of the road that doesn't do this.
Oh, I
That
tried,
little metal town.
I tried to make a deal with Heather White that maybe that could be her pay for having her art show here to
To do the town office sign?
fix the Vinalhaven Town office sign,
That's not a bad idea.
so,
I just need one.
what's that?
I said I had Doreen Martin painted a sign for me for the end of the road. I said, now I just need one on the building because everybody comes in looking for joy.
Oh, yeah. You need a new shirt. No, I'm not Joey. Okay,
Under town property, I do have to make a big adjustment on the hydrant, that quarterly bill to Maine Water. I haven't looked at the new rates for
oh, right.
water. What was the other, the streetlights, that budget will come down quite a bit, but I do need to check in. They haven't started billing us under the new LED light format, so I don't have a lot of information, but, so I need to touch base with Fox Island Electric to get more details on that. Because I don't have any, obviously I don't have any history to go by with the LED.
So for town property, the big ones that will need adjustments, the hydrants and the streetlights.
Yep, I'll need
Everything
to
else is,
look back at those. I mean, I know we had money in last year's budget to do the work,
Yeah.
our portion of that grant. So that's why last year it was 52,000. So I know it's gonna go down quite a bit, and it might go down even more than the 27,000. I'm just not sure. And I'll probably be conservative and put a little more in there than I think, just, because I don't know, I don't have a lot of history. Unfortunately, with the law enforcement, I don't know where we're going with that, because I haven't heard anything back from the sheriff's office about a new contract, so obviously I'm gonna have to revisit the contracted services line. Most of the other line items are, I can put in amounts for those, but I won't know until we renegotiate that contract what that's gonna be.
Have you, have you looked, at the 1% amount that you have to give to the state with this new leave thing?
Pay family medical leave.
Yeah, well, it's not though, it's different, because you said it was 9,000 a year. And we had talked
Do you
about.
wanna revisit that? Or, right now, we're doing 50/50.
Right, and with the condition that we relooked at it during budget season.
I haven't done any of those calculations. I haven't done any of the social security and Medicare, and that'll be, part of that calculation.
Okay.
Let's see, fire department came out very similar to the previous year. What did I go, must have gone down on something.
I can get together with you Friday to go over those.
Equipment's down.
Well, it'd be good to get the budget.
Oh, it's really, it's
too.
up by $6,000. Why did that change? Oh, we put in a little bit more money for the assistant chief and deputy chief, that's why. So it's just, it's $6,500 more than it is in the previous year. And like we talked about, I'm not really sure where to go with the ambulance budget. I'm still having discussions with people in the ambulance department about what to put in there for wages. Just like with the emergency management director, we're talking about maybe we should put something in there as a placeholder, but we're just, still talking about how to deal with that, based on the configuration of the ambulance department, that needs a lot more work and discussion.
Was there any movement, because when Ryan was here, he talked about getting a new ambulance, has there been any
Yes.
movement on that?
Yeah, and I'll be discussing that under the capital projects.
Okay,
Yeah, so, yeah. I don't know how far we went. What do we got?
I got public safety,
The public safety building,
harbor
that's
master,
pretty
and
straight.
insurance. Is the only other three.
Yep. Yes, I should say not yep.
Yep.
Harbor master, is pretty straightforward, and insurance is just our general insurance, workers' comp, and unemployment. Insurance is going up everywhere, so that is higher than the previous year. I know I'm doing this fast and furious, but I hope that you look at these things and ask me questions. And as I said, the budget committee is gonna be meeting Friday morning.
And these are like the easy ones, the ones that usually are pretty straightforward.
And just a reminder, I will be leaving on the 30th, be gone for almost 3 weeks.
Have fun.
So that ties into my question of
Yes.
when you wanna meet.
When's the next meeting?
It would be February 4th and the 18th. Marjorie will not be here for either of those, so do you want to meet? Do you want to?
I think that, get out of here. I think that if things are going along smoothly, when are you coming back, Marjorie, did you say?
I'll be back around February 20th, but
Okay.
that's at the end of a week, so.
So if we wanted to wait until February 25th, and unless something comes up in the meantime that we have to meet, to discuss anything,
Yeah.
I mean, generally, if it's just like Millie's report,
Well,
Read the emails.
you know, we can deal with her easy.
Yeah, unless something,
No,
unless something major comes up.
Right,
that's what I mean, if there's nothing important, and Lizzie can keep me informed of what's going on, and then if I think we need to get together,
Yeah,
does that sound okay with
The
you
budget
guys?
committee meets this Friday, you said?
so by that time they'll have some stuff for us, maybe.
yeah, they should have,
Oh, yeah, they'll probably have a lot.
they'll have a lot by
then.
then.
Yeah, by the end of February, we should be
Should be cruising.
able to zip right through.
My only,
You're leaving.
not till April
Oh, I
1st.
thought you were going off island for a vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's just for 6 days of the first week of March.
Oh, okay.
My only concern of waiting that long is with the budget stuff, and then, cause you're going all of March, right?
No,
February.
February. I'm leaving on January 30th,
Oh, okay. your trip is-
returning February.
Never
That-
mind.
That's why we're
20th.
talking about not meeting for
No,
2 weeks.
no, I know, but then I thought you had another trip. I
No.
thought you were gonna be going in March
She
again.
wishes.
No,
Okay, never mind then.
I was
Okay.
confused. So we all set to just let things go along, and unless there's a
Something
huge
major,
thing to get together?
yes.
so, if you look at the budget details and you have questions, please get in touch with me and, you know, I can discuss things with the budget committee and respond, you know, knowing that we're not gonna have another meeting for a while.
Okay.
Or try to answer your questions.
I just had one question, which is just a little thing. Why the, hold on just one moment, please. I'll go back to the page, if I can find it. On the lease to the, Round the Mountain lease. What the heck?
Round the
Yes.
mountain,
What the heck
It's
is that?
$1,000.
Yeah, what-
town
is that-
property.
That went up, you put that up to 1,000 from 500? Am I not?
You know,
Indian Creek.
I don't know
Indian
why,
Creek,
but
thank you.
in the last few years, they've always budgeted 1,000, but the agreement with Earl is only 500.
Right,
I
So,
had the same question, Pam.
do you wanna just budget the 500?
yes, please. How did that go?
It's under town property.
I have little tabs, what can you just say? Yeah, I don't see any reason that can't remain 500.
Was it $1,000 at one point?
I don't ever remember.